Hello, hello. Welcome to today's show episode. Many people study the law of attraction, hoping to create their dream life. And today we're going to be talking about how your thoughts shape your success. So, this applies to everything in your life. And I know I'm usually talking about business, but this is really the heart of it. Okay, so many people study the law of attraction, hoping to create their dream life, but only a few really achieve extraordinary wealth and fulfillment. And why is that? Like they know something about the law of attraction that most don't. So over the last decade, I went from financial struggle to building a transformational coaching business, impacting tons of people's lives. And in this video, I'm going to reveal three things: how thoughts actually become things, why your reality isn't changing, even if you understand the law of attraction, and the one insight that allows me to manifest 100% of the time. And I wish I had known this sooner. I mean, I've known this a long time. I've been manifesting things. I didn't even know I was manifesting things. It goes back to early times. It was before The Secret. I don't know if you've ever heard of this movie called The Secret, but I remember back in the day, I was talking to one of my friends trying to explain how do we manifest all this income, because I have been super wealthy in the past, multi millionaires, to going down, losing it all, going to social assistance after my divorce, and then having to build it all back up again. But anyway, back in the day when I was super wealthy, I was having this conversation with a friend and I was trying to explain to him about manifestation at that point, but I was having a really hard time articulating it. And then that was the year that The Secret came out, and I saw it and I was like, this is what I'm talking about. This is how it works. And sent him that video. It was back in the day when Netflix was mailing the DVDs in the mail. Or let's see, was it even on a DVD? Yeah, I think it was on a DVD. Maybe it wasn't on Netflix. But anyway, getting off topic. But I wish I would have known it even sooner, like as a teenager, or even sooner than that. And I talk to my son about this regularly. But anyway, there's a process to it, and in order to really manifest what you ultimately want. And every year I didn't know this cost me more time and money than I really care to admit. So let's dive right in. Let's start with number one: how thoughts become things, the internal mechanism. So your thoughts are more than just these fleeting ideas. They're powerful forces that shape every aspect of your life, setting a cycle in motion that can create your greatest successes. Or what do we focus on? So this process happens subtly and begins within, deep within, driven by our beliefs, which are often rooted in our earliest life experiences. And to illustrate this, the power of self-fulfilling beliefs, let me tell you a story of Bill Buckner. As a first baseman, okay, for the Boston Red Sox, Buckner made a critical error during the 1986 World Series, letting this ground ball slip between his legs. It was a simple mistake, but one that really cost his team the championship. And just 19 days earlier, before that happened, Buckner had said, "The nightmare is that you'll let the winning run score on a ground ball through your legs," something like that. And it sounds like a coincidence, but this is a classic example of how these thoughts and beliefs can really influence our reality. Because Buckner's focus on this nightmare thought, okay, it was a thought, could have affected his stress, for one thing, right? And what he was really focused on, his focus, and even his reflexes, leading to that exact scenario that he feared. And I often say that we get what we focus on, okay, positive or negative. So you might as well focus on the positive. I say that all the time. So this isn't woo woo stuff. It's actually a process that's going on. There's always this internal cycle that takes our beliefs to reality. So let me explain this, okay? This process is explained really by behavioral psychology, particularly through concepts of psycho-cybernetics. It's a loop, okay? Psycho-cybernetic loop. It's a cycle that defines how our beliefs shape our reality. So here's how it works, okay? Our beliefs shape our thoughts. So the beliefs that we develop, especially earlier in life, become this lens through which we see the world. Okay. It's like looking through yellow glasses or looking through rose colored glasses type of thing, right? You see it one way. And then sometime, have you ever had that aha moment where where you're just like, oh my God, now I see it, right? It's like you've been walking through life with this lens. And then you see it. First you didn't see it, then you see it. So beliefs like I'm not good enough or making money is hard come from experiences, influences, and even our social environments when we're a young age or throughout our growing up, right? They're often really deeply ingrained. And though sometimes unconscious, they have a really profound impact on our thoughts. And then those thoughts generate emotions. The beliefs, they give rise to those thoughts, which then produces emotions, because this is the cycle we're going through, right? So for example, if you believe that money is scarce, that thought of financial stress and lack become calming, not calming, common, I should say. Um, like creating feelings of anxiety or even dread, right? If you're thinking it's scarce, that's going to cause anxiety or dread, like, oh my God, there's never enough. I'm going to run out, right? Conversely, empowering beliefs like I am capable of achieving wealth, or I am wealthy, or I'm abundant, or I'm grateful for what I have, right? These thoughts lead to like these are thoughts of possibility and excitement. Okay. So you see how it's like what you're focusing on can go either way, right? So the thoughts that you dwell on fuel emotions that influence your mental state, your outlook, and your motivation. And then emotions then drive this action. Okay. Are you seeing this like cycle, right? So emotions drive actions. The emotions generated by your thoughts directly impact the actions that you take. So positive emotions like excitement and optimism and confidence are more likely to drive constructive actions towards goals, such as pursuing new opportunities or persisting through challenges. But when emotions like fear or self doubt start dominating, they often lead to avoidance, procrastination, or actions from a place of desperation. I see a lot of people like doing this busy work because they want to, they've got this stuff going on in their mind, right? They've got like fear a lot of times too. So anyway, those actions produce results. Whatever those actions, whichever ones you're taking, they produce results. So the quality of our actions determines the results that we achieve. So actions taken with that focus, confidence, and commitment generally produce successful results, right? Down this path. However, when actions come from a place of fear or self-doubt, they're often scattered or hesitant, or like they yield lackluster or even a negative outcome, right? Because they're just like you're consumed with this, right? So that's a different path. And then those reinforce the beliefs again. So that comes back around to that beginning, right? So it's like, oh, proved I was right, back to the beginning. So finally, those results that we achieve, whichever results we achieve from that standpoint, they're going to reinforce our original beliefs, either positively or negatively. Like, see, I was right. That's how it goes. So if you achieve success, it strengthens that belief that you're capable and you're worthy of more success. If you struggle, it may reaffirm those limiting beliefs, and it just creates this vicious cycle where negative results continually reinforce those negative beliefs. So the cycle forms a really powerful loop where beliefs create results that seem to prove those beliefs true. So it's this feedback loop that can work for you or it can work against you. So how do you break free from this? Okay, changing your beliefs is where it starts. Changing your beliefs to transform your reality. Okay, you get that? So to break out of those negative loops, the key is to consciously examine and reshape your beliefs. This is one of the first things I work on with my clients, because we got to break that thing. They come to me with a problem. They come to me with challenges. They're like in this feast or famine mode typically with getting clients. And so we have to, really dig deep. I take them through these exercises to dig deep, to get, under these beliefs so that we can reframe them into something more powerful. So okay, just reshaping your beliefs. Let's get back onto you instead of my clients. But it just means questioning those limiting beliefs, right? And replacing them with empowering ones. So when you shift your beliefs, your thoughts change, new emotions emerge. You take more aligned, positive actions that produce better results. And over time, this new loop, right, rewires your reality, because then you've gotten conscious to what those beliefs are. So now you can shift them, break those negative ones, go back, rewrite it, and then the loop gets positive, 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 right? Just remember, right? Your beliefs lead to thoughts, which drive emotions that influence actions and produce results. So the results that ultimately mirror your original beliefs. So you can look around and see what your beliefs are, what your thoughts are based on what your life looks like and what results you're getting. Makes sense? So the journey to success starts within, right? By mastering your internal mechanism and choosing beliefs that empower you rather than limit you. Does that make sense? If you're with me, if that makes sense, post in the comments. Also say hi if you're here, because this is live. All right. So how do those thoughts become things? Okay. This is the external mechanism. We were talking about the internal. Now we're going to talk about the external mechanism. So in addition to the internal process, which thoughts shape our reality, there's an equal powerful external mechanism at play as well. And this is where principles like the law of attraction and resonance come into effect. So describing how our thoughts influence the world around us in ways, that go beyond our immediate conscious actions. So, this is the science of thought energy that's emitting vibrational signals. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, this is really woo woo, but it's not. This is like energy. We're all energy. Everything around us is energy, right? Thoughts aren't just mental constructs. They're also forms of energy. So when you have a thought, your brain generates electrical impulses that transmit through neural networks. This activity produces a vibrational signal, um, essentially a frequency that radiates beyond your body and into the environment around you. So, best way to describe it is like radio waves or Wi-Fi signals. So these thought vibrations, they move through space, influencing other energies around them. Right? It's like, what are we noticing? What are we picking up? Things like that, right? So we live in a universe where everything is fundamentally energy. Even the atoms that make up our solid world are mostly empty space. If you were to really zoom in, you take that microscope, right, and you zoom, 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 zoom in on an atom, you see that its nucleus and the electrons are surrounded by vast empty space. Um, what feels like solid is actually the result of vibrating energy fields interacting in really complex ways. Okay, I'm getting kind of deep here. So this vibrational essence of reality means that our own energetic outputs, our thoughts, our emotions, and intentions are part of an interconnected web of vibrations. So when you have this vibrational alignment, it's like attracts like, right? When you understand this energetic framework, the law of attraction becomes clearer. The law states that like attracts like. So that frequency of your thoughts attracts similar frequencies in your environment. When you emit these high frequency thoughts, such as those rooted in optimism or gratitude or abundance, you align yourself with similar high frequency energies in the world. And this alignment causes circumstances, people, opportunities that really resonate with these positive energies to be really drawn towards you, almost like a magnet. And that's why I say like your business is like a mirror, right? Whatever you're putting out, you're getting back. So if you're constantly thinking about scarcity, negativity or low frequency thoughts, those things that are based on fear or resentment or scarcity, right? Those are lower vibrations. They don't feel good. You can feel the difference when you're excited, when you're happy. You can feel what it feels like when you're scared or in scarcity, or I call it scarcity, or resentment or anger, any of those lower things. It doesn't feel good. It feels icky, right? That's a lower vibration that you're putting out. And there's a scale. There's a scale. You can Google it. It's the vibrational scale, and it's like it shows you all the different like how much energy is being emitted versus, with certain thoughts versus those higher vibrational thoughts versus lower vibrational thoughts. Anyway, in turn, um they align you with those experiences that mirror that negativity, right? So if you're trying to get clients and you have this scarcity that I'm never going to get clients, or nobody's going to pay that, or whatever, right? That's what you're going to get. Or if you don't invest in yourself, who's going to invest in you, type of thing, right? So anyway, this is why people who constantly dwell on what they lack or what they fear, it's really fear, um often they find themselves encountering more lack and more fear. So their external world is in effect turning, like it's tuning in to the frequencies that they're broadcasting. Does that make sense? So it's really about like resonance and reality. So creating this energetic feedback loop, right? Just picture this loop. This external mechanism operates like a feedback loop. So where our thoughts not only shape our internal reality, but also they set off a series of external responses that reinforce the original thought pattern. So when you put out thoughts of success and joy and abundance, you not only feel empowered, but you also attract these same circumstances that really affirm those feelings. So these circumstances that then, they again reinforce that belief in your success, encouraging you to continue projecting positive thoughts and doing more of those positive things, right? And this loop becomes self-sustaining. If you consistently project high vibrational thoughts, the world responds, okay, with corresponding events, with people. Like people show up, events show up, um, opportunities show up, uh, and outcomes that just really reinforce your belief in those thoughts, right? Just think about that for a second. Like there's the coincidences in life, right? You're like, oh, this happened, like what's happening for you versus what happened, anyway. The process really, it can lead to an upward spiral of positive experiences, or if it's rooted in the negativity, downward spiral. Okay, so shaping your world through conscious thought energy is really important. And by being mindful of your thoughts, you can start to consciously uh, shaping the vibrational signals that you're sending out into the world. That's why it's so important to meditate, because you're getting still and you're noticing, right? Like, okay, why is this happening? What am I thinking right now? Like catching yourself thinking. They say calm your mind, quiet your mind, but in those times of meditation, and those thoughts come up, it's okay to have those thoughts. A lot of people are like, don't think, don't think. Then you think more. But notice what you're thinking. Notice, are those positive, high vibe thoughts? Or those, or even like in your day to day, but meditating, like getting in that quiet time, even if it's just for 3 minutes, 5 minutes a day, to just notice what are those thoughts that are creeping up. So then you can make note of those and start shifting them. Does that make sense? So is every thought, it's a really small investment in the reality that you're creating. So by focusing on thoughts that embody the reality that you want to experience, you gradually tune in, right? The radio station, tune your vibration to attract similar energies from your surroundings. So this external mechanism is a powerful reminder that we're not isolated from the world that we live in. Rather, we're active participants in an energetic exchange with it. And when we cultivate thoughts that resonate with positivity and abundance and growth, we contribute to shaping a world that really reflects those very qualities back to us. And it's not even just our immediate world. Like it has this ripple effect because you're communicating with people like in your community, right? And you're interacting with them and then they're going to leave. It's like if you have this like positive outlook and then it's infectious, right? Or if you have a negative, it's too. Like just think about it. So why your reality, like why isn't it changing? Why isn't it changing? Is like many people really struggle with transforming their lives despite using positive affirmations or trying to apply the law of attraction. They may spend time reciting statements like money flows to me easily, or I'm abundant, or whatever affirmations. I'm confident, or I am. There's a lot of I am, right? But without significant change in their external reality, they're left wondering like why these affirmations aren't really working. Like, why aren't they producing any results? And the real obstacle there, right, now that I've explained it, is those unconscious beliefs and the inner resistance. That's a huge one, inner resistance. Um, the root of the issue isn't with the principles of attraction or the affirmations themselves, but when you like with these unconscious beliefs, okay, and inner resistance, because if you've got these beliefs, I mean, and you haven't uncovered them, they're subconscious, right? And then resistance, like why hasn't it happened yet? Why hasn't it happened yet? It's like this wobble. So these hidden ingrained beliefs, they're again often formed in early life, and they directly impact our thoughts and our actions without us even realizing it. So for instance, if you grew up with messages like money's hard to come by, or rich people are selfish, or money doesn't grow on trees, you name it, those beliefs could really conflict with your desire for wealth. Okay. Every time you try to affirm abundance, right, those opposing subconscious beliefs are going to rise up and they're going to block your progress because it's not what you really believe. It's not what you grew up with. You haven't even addressed it, right? They've been so ingrained your whole life, so programmed your whole life. They're just there and you don't even realize it most of the time, right? Unless you do this work, like identifying these beliefs really requires honesty and introspection. Back to the meditating, right? It's like this introspection. That's that time to really have that introspection. It's about realizing that affirmations alone, they're not going to rewrite this deep seated mental programming. In fact, if you're saying I'm rich, but your unconscious beliefs are yelling, no, you're not, then that friction between them, it really creates internal resistance that repels the very thing that you want to attract. They say, what is it? They say, what you resist persists. Okay. What you resist persists. I don't know if you've ever heard of that before, but it's so true, right? Because it's again goes back to that focus. But the power of recognizing your state of being at any given moment, you're operating in one of these two states basically. So a powerful state or a primal state. It's just like ingrained. So each of these reflects your current beliefs and your emotions, shaping that lens, back to that lens through which you view and respond to life. Okay? So if you have this powerful state, joy, curiosity, peace, and enthusiasm, those are what characterizes powerful states. Okay. When you're in these states, you're open. You're open to creative, resourceful things, right? You experience a sense of flow where opportunities just seem to align. It's easy, it's flowing, and you feel more capable of just taking action. They show up and you're like, oh, you're clear on this and achieving your goals, right? You're clear on that. So it's like, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. In these states, your positive energy, it just enhances your attraction abilities. But when you're in this primal state, like fear, anxiety, anger, stress, those are the hallmarks of primal states, right? It's like, what is it? Fight or flight, right? When you're in these states, you're operating from a survival mindset, seeing life as filled with obstacles and threats and survival, right? It's like it's primal states. Your body and mind are again, they're just in that fight or flight mode, which hinders your ability to focus on growth and abundance, right? Just think about if you're closed off, if you feel more closed off, um, and that you're just gonna not have the space. You're not gonna have the space to be able to do that. If you're just surviving a reactive mode, right? Like all this like you feel more closed off and you may just resist the very actions or changes that could improve your life. Make sense? So, how do these negative thoughts trigger primal can I say that? How do these negative thoughts trigger primal states and block change? Okay. So these negative thoughts fuel primal states. They're that's just leading to resistance and stagnation. So for example, a persistent fear of failure may lead to procrastination, okay, on crucial tasks that would take you closer to your goal, which in turn prevents progress towards your goal, right? So the more often that you fall into these primal states, the more resistance you create, effectively putting up a mental and emotional wall between you and your desires. Um, and even though even if you're reciting positive affirmations, the energy of your primal state will dilute or block the effect of those. So this is why it's crucial to really address the root cause that those hidden limiting beliefs that are keeping you in a perpetual cycle of anxiety, fear, or frustration. And that's why it's really good to get with a coach, right? Because I when I'm with my clients, for example, I've got this client right now too, and she's not showing up for the calls. So I'm like, "What's going on? What's happening?" Right? And then we start talking, and I'm like, "Okay, that's a limiting belief right there. Like I can spot it." Whereas like she might not be able to see it, but I can hear in the language that she's using. I can see in her actions that she's taking. I'm like, "Why are you working on that? Staying busy, doing the busy work. What's going on for you? What's coming up for you?" And then we'll have this conversation so we can bring it up and out and she can deal with it, right? So it can move her closer to her goals. That's why it's really important to have that feedback, because sometimes it's so hidden you can't even see it. You're so comfortable in your actions, you're so comfortable in your day to day, you're doing the things that you think you should be doing. But then somebody that is a really good coach, they can come in and be like, "Hey, what's going on?" And help you through it and get you through it a lot quicker so you can get those results a lot quicker. But anyway, um, shifting back from that primal to powerful state, right? Like how do you clear that path for transformation? To truly transform your reality, you must first become aware of which state you're in, right? And consciously shift from primal to powerful. And here are the steps. Let me share these steps with you to begin clearing the resistance and so that you can really allow that change. So, number one, again, you need to identify the limiting belief. Like write down the thoughts that come up when you try to affirm your goals. Notice and listen to your words too. Okay? Notice like if there's like an internal resistance such as doubt or discomfort. Remember I talked about like when you have that happy positive, you feel it feels good. Like notice how you feel. Is there tightness? Is there tension? Because that's a sign uh, of resistance. Okay. So if there's internal resistance such as doubt or discomfort, just having this awareness helps uncover the beliefs that are in conflict with your desires. Reframe. The next thing is reframe it. Once you've identified it, now it's time to reframe it. Again, this is what I do with my clients. Very first thing we work on, because again, I don't want them projecting that when I can teach all the fancy marketing tools in the world, but if they're coming from this place, it's not going to work. Right. So we got to get rid of that first. And then I can teach all the fancy marketing and sales stuff. But anyway, Number two is reframe your negative thoughts. Okay. You've identified them. Now you need to reframe them. So when you notice these negative thoughts, consciously challenge and reframe them. Replace I'll never succeed with I'm learning every day and moving closer to success. It doesn't have to be like I'll never succeed. I'm successful. That might be too much of a jump. You can go easy with it, right? Are you really going to believe that? You know, I'll never succeed. I'm successful. That goes back to the mantras or the affirmations, right? It doesn't work if you don't believe it. But what can you believe? I'll never succeed with I'm learning every day and I'm growing. I'm moving closer to my goals. Things like that, right? Do you hear the difference? It's softer, it's easier, it's believable. Like, do you believe that? Right? If you're not learning every day, if you don't believe that, then make it something else, but make it so it's one notch higher than whatever that lowest one is. Okay. But that shift, it would open you up, right, to powerful states or more powerful state. The third thing is you need to really cultivate powerful emotions. So practice gratitude. Um, just what are three things you're grateful for in the morning? Could be like, I'm grateful for my coffee, it could be small. I'm grateful for my child, I'm grateful for my home, something like that. Whatever you're truly grateful for, like you really feel it. Three things. Okay. Visualize positive outcomes. Okay. Like what's, I don't know. Think about your dream home or think about, I don't know, whatever positive outcome you want. Think about your day going well. It could be that small too. Okay. Or engage in activities that really bring you joy and peace. I've got Pinterest boards where it's just filled with things that make me smile, make me laugh, jokes, affirmations, cute little fuzzy puppies and that stuff like that. I'm like, oh, it feels so good, right? Like, what are these things, activities, or, I love to go for walks when the sun's shining. I love baths, warm baths. That makes me feel good. I love doing yoga, stretching, whatever it is for you, right? Watching a comedy that's going to bring joy, make you laugh, right? Make a list of these things that bring you joy and bring you peace. Because these practices are going to reinforce those powerful states, making it easier to maintain positive thoughts and really take proactive actions towards your goals. And then number four then is practice that self-compassion. So instead of getting frustrated when negative thoughts appear, which are totally normal, right? You could just even say that, acknowledge them and just say, oh, that's normal. Acknowledge them with compassion. Oh, it's okay. I'm getting better. Things saying, oh, or something positive could be, oh, I noticed it. I noticed my negative thought. Cool. Um, let's work through that. Let's, unpack that. Just understand that these thoughts really stem from old beliefs, right? And as you work on them, they'll gradually lose their grip and become less and less and less. So the key to real change, though, is like ultimately real transformation requires moving beyond superficial affirmations and addressing the really deep seated beliefs and thought patterns that shape your state of being. So by clearing the internal resistance created by limiting beliefs and cultivating powerful states, you pave the way for that lasting change in your reality. And when your beliefs, your thoughts, and emotions are all aligned, you create a seamless pathway for your desires to manifest without internal conflicts blocking the way. Does that make sense? So to recap, in this discussion, we explored the profound connection between our thoughts, beliefs, and the reality we experience. First, we examined the internal mechanism of how thoughts become things, understanding that our beliefs drive thoughts, which then create feelings that lead to actions and ultimately shape our results. Then we delved into the external mechanism, which involves the law of attraction and the vibrational energy that we emit that resonates with the world around us. And together, these mechanisms show us how Our mental and emotional states directly influence our lives. And then next, we explored why it can be challenging to change our reality, even when we use positive affirmations or visualization techniques. And the key lies in addressing hidden limiting beliefs and the two states of being: powerful and primal. So, being in primal state, characterized by emotions like fear, anger, scarcity, it creates that resistance and blocks progress. And recognizing these states and their impact helps us uncover and transform deep rooted beliefs. And finally, we looked at practical ways to recognize and shift limiting beliefs by identifying triggers, observing emotional patterns, and using self reflection techniques that we can bring hidden beliefs to light. And through intentional practice, including choosing new core beliefs, visualizations, and affirmations, we replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones. And this ongoing process, it helps create a reality that aligns with our true desires. So that is it for today. I hope that was helpful. I hope that really painted the picture for you. I know I went pretty deep there, but it makes sense, right? Like you can see the cycle, and maybe I'll even edit this and add that cycle in. But let me know if you have any questions or if you want to know more about this kind of stuff. Also, put in the comments, like, what do you want me to do lives about? Because, I want to help you be as successful as possible in your life. And, this is my mission in life. My passion in life is to help as many people help others. So it has that ripple effect to make a great world that we live in. So anyway, that is all for today. Take care, everyone. See you next.